Well, what do we have here?
I told you it was planet season.
Stand back. I've got just a ting for this.
Gosh, you are such a professional.
Who asked you anyways, Doc? And now for the kicker.
You are taking forever. Are you sure you're using the right paint?
I'm sorry, which of us went to art school? You or me? Sheesh.
Hey, did you hear something?
Hey, what's the big idea? I gotcha now!
Hi, I'm Bunny, or Gun Bunny, or I guess today I'm Bugs Bunny, and this is my journey through guns and cosplay. And my ears will probably fall off a few times, but they're not really in frame, so that's fine. Because they don't want to stay on. I'll have to figure out a new way to do them. But this is what they look like. They're very cute. No, fuck. So if you're wondering why I'm dressed in my Bugs Bunny cosplay, you will not have to wonder for too long, as today we will be talking about Fudds. And why that's part of my Bugs Bunny cosplay, I will explain as I go. If my ears don't fall, which they seem to desperately want to do, because they suck. Apologies. Oh, I'm so itchy. As part of my admittedly autistic ass journey through guns and cosplay, there is the inevitable exposure to and learning of gun culture. Now, in my time at competitions online talking to people, now in my time at competitions online and talking to people, I have heard the term Fudd, which was able to pique my curiosity. Okay, I'll kneel. That'll fix my posture. There we go. But then you can't really see my ears. Here, let's see if I can fix that. There. What was a Fudd? Was this a positive or a negative thing? Where did this term come from? And what does this mean for the gun community and my place in it? Well, going into my research, I learned quite a few things. First off, the term Fudd itself comes from the character Elmer Fudd, who is a character in the cartoon series Looney Tunes, which I actually grew up on. And this happens to be my first exposure to what happens to a gun if there's a bad enough bore obstruction. Though at the time I thought this was purely large cartoon logic, it turns out that banana peel is a real thing, which is hilarious. Elmer Fudd, a hunter who mainly interacts with and is the enemy of Bugs Bunny, was first introduced to Looney Tunes pretty late in the game. The first Looney Tunes aired on April 7th, 1930, and Elmer doesn't come until 7 or 10 years later, portrayed as an old-fashioned hunter and, well, a bit of a bumbling idiot, often being tricked quite easily in the cartoon hilarity of Bugs. Bugs, I guess, I don't know, because that's my cosplays. Okay. Who Elmer refers to as Webbit. Often, there's the whole thing he's hunting because it's rabbit season, which is why I have rabbit crossed out and it says Fudd. I didn't need to explain that. The term Fudd in the community, from what I can tell, is derived from Elmer Fudd in the cartoons, according to dictionary.com. and some people I've talked to. According to dictionary.com, a Fudd is a gun owner who is, quote, a gun owner who uses guns only for hunting or for shooting, sports, and who opposes the ownership of assault rifles and other automatic firearms intended for defense or attack, end quote. And according to dictionary.com, this originates between 2005 and 2010. Now, I take that definition with a grain of salt. As with many things in culture, the term is generally more nuanced and also prone to evolution as use, cultural attitudes, and the community changes. After doing a bit of a deeper dive, asking around, searching on various forums, and talking to a few people, I have come up with pretty varied versions of this term. From a Fudd having certain political standings, to only liking certain guns, to outright it being exclusionary to certain members of the gun community. And the more I searched and pieced together the through lines in these definitions, I came to a core understanding of what a Fudd is. Also, if you didn't get it from before when I was mentioning Bugs Bunny, is because Bugs Bunny is like, where Fudd comes from is the Bugs cartoons. And I have my Bugs Bunny cosplay because of the, Bugs is the enemy of Fudd. And if you don't get the joke, you won't get it ever. So, just enjoy the show. I would like to let you know that some information about my channel. First off, that I am only funded by my Patreon. I will not be doing sponsorships or using YouTube's monetization feature, even though they've asked me twice now. So if you are interested in that, you get extra GunBunny content, and it starts at $5. So my link for the Patreon will be in the description below and on screen now. I also have a PayPal box where you're welcome to send me things. I will soon actually be putting together a requested list of guns and tactical gear and stuff that I like, including ammo, if people want to send me things that aren't a subscription-based service, or if you just have stuff lying around. So that will be being compiled soon, and I will keep that updated so people can know, oh, what does she own, what does she, etc. I also want to say that I post videos every Monday and Thursday, so come to my channel and check out there. I do a good mix of things. I do everything from competitions to trying new guns to cosplay, shooting in cosplay, more goofy videos kind of like this, making cosplay, and just also pure goofing off. I also generally document my journey through guns and opening a gun shop. Let me think. I have social medias, which are on the screen over here somewhere, where you can follow me, but I mostly post on YouTube and sometimes on Instagram. The dictionary definition may not be wrong in some use cases, but what I have done... The dictionary definition may not be wrong in some use cases, but what I've come to generally understand is that Fudd is a term applied to a type of gun owner that dislikes modern guns, declaring that modern guns made with plastic are, quote, not real guns. Opting for wood, blued steel, preferring revolvers and 1911s. They are generally okay with assault weapons bans, carry restrictions, and generally preferring guns to be for hunting or simple home use. Now, this being a much more technical understanding of what Fudds dislike is not only the generalizations I can come to, but I will actually be able to go into this I will go into before analyzing the ideas more, looking into why Fudds exist and the possible effects it has on the gun community, which I will be exploring over a few videos. I think I will be doing a video on why things like this happen, why Fudds exist in culture. I'll be doing a video about Fudd guns versus more modern guns, do Fudds have a point, and comparing those. And then I think I'm going to do one more video, which is Are Fudds Bad? So it's kind of a bunch of different videos split up over this kind of answering a few questions about this idea and this topic. Kind of a deep dive, because when I started writing this script, I was like, oh, this is going to be fine. Usually my scripts are 1 or 2 pages. But no, it was 7 pages. And so I was like, yeah, no, that's going to be a 3, and then it kept getting longer and longer, and I was barely done, and I was like, no, that's going to be a 3-hour video if I'm not careful. And I really wanted to go into all the topics I had, because this really went into something that I'm really interested in, and kind of understanding culture and how that stuff evolves. So I decided it would be really fun to kind of do this as a bigger project. So going back into our video, Fudds seem to Fudds seem to tend to stick to the ideas of more powerful rounds being better than more capacity, tend to dislike rapid-fire, defensive, and combat shooting styles, as well as having beliefs on what guns are best and how they should be used. They have strong opinions in the care, maintenance, stance, and when it comes to guns in general, all along the lines of sticking to the good old days. That may have never really existed in the good old days that may have never really existed in the stagnant way they remembered, because that's just not how humans work. As someone who does a lot of historical research for my sewing and cosplay work, I encounter this a lot. Facts are often presented as absolutes when this just doesn't exist. For example, 1880s women for most part wore their hair up, but looking at images back in the time, there were women who didn't. For example, Annie Oakley being a great example of this. Historical plausibility, or if it existed in only one case, and then I can use this and it's accurate for the whole other rant, is something I will go into one day because I have a lot of thoughts on that. But this example gives an insight into the way information is remembered or presented as absolutes when it isn't necessarily true, because it's easier to digest that way. And this absolute ideal is what seems to be a through line of Fudd ideology. This is the right way to do guns. Now, I say Fudd ideology, which makes Fudd sound like a group or self-identifier, which to my knowledge it's not. It's generally presented as an insult or critique of somebody and their actions or beliefs pertaining to the gun community, with terms evolving from it such as Fudd lore, referring to the ideas or so-called wisdom of Fudds. Now, we know what a Fudd is generally defined as and where the term came from, of course, Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny. I want to go into a few ideas. Why do Fudds exist? What is Fudd lore, and does it even make sense? Do they have something going for them? I want to go into this as someone who doesn't have many preconceptions of this and take an honest, serious look at this, as this is part of my journey and this is part of how I get into things. I really like to research things. I especially love anthropology and just cultural analytics. This is all super interesting to me, as well as learning how to shoot guns, but also, is there grains of truth here that I can learn, and why is this a thing? So I'll probably be going into what is Fudd lore? Does it make sense? Are Fudds even bad? And all of these ideas I will explore in upcoming videos, likely to similar titles as the questions I just posed. They will also probably be titled as like Fudd Part 1, 2, and 3. But if you're curious, I will probably not release them all in a row, so I'll mix it up with other things. But if you're curious, I will keep an eye out for them as I'll explore deeper into gun culture and the culture of Fudds in general. Hi, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe so I can keep doing this channel.